judicial system. Can you talk about your position on a reform of marijuana laws concerning the decriminalization of possession of small amounts for personal use, also recognizing that it's under federal jurisdiction? If you're elected, what steps would you take as the provincial MLA to advance that position?
Thank you. Well, I had the opportunity to go to university in the 70s. So there was plenty of that going on at the time. I never knew. Thank you, Bill. So I think simply what it comes down to is, where is society going here? What's happening south of the border? What's happening in other parts of the world? I recently had the opportunity to travel to Amsterdam in August. And for a place that actually has legalized use of marijuana, I've never seen a more controlled environment. They call them brown cafes. You don't see it on the street. You don't see kids running around with, joints in their hand. It's all controlled, it's all legislated, but it's open. So I think that that's the model we need to move to, and I understand it's federally regulated, and I understand that our current government may have an issue with our current federal government. But ultimately, times are changing, and we have to recognize that change, and we have to, I will, if elected, lobby for that change to take place and to create an environment where people can actually use the substance safely and legally. Thank you.
Thank you. Shane?
I would be in favor of having a discussion on this. I think it's a societal discussion. I think society has changed over the years. That's not to say that we shouldn't be holding a much broader debate on it. I can see the merits, very easily see the merits of decriminalization of marijuana. I can also see, in addition to that perhaps marijuana should be regulated the same way that we regulate alcohol. Now, of course, there are dangers with alcohol, there are dangers with any type of drug, but through responsible consumption, through societal norms and through regulations, I think we can have this. But it is something that the province, the citizens of the province have to discuss. There are states in America that went through this just recently. Some voted in favor, some voted against. But it is a discussion that the whole area has to have. Thank you very much.
Well, I think it's a simple position that's probably already taken place if you talk to law enforcement on the fact that they're not laying charges on simple possession. But I've sat in a number of therapeutic and rehabilitation centers that I, as a minister, been responsible for, and asked everybody what drugs they started out with. And every single one of them started out with either alcohol or marijuana. And I think you better know what the chemical effect of this particular drug is before you decide that you're going to put it in your whole population. Alcohol by itself today costs our society more than every legal and illegal drug combined. That's the impact of the social impact of alcohol. I think the other part of it is you talk to people who are addicted, and you talk to people about a gateway drug. I think you should be aware of that concern. And remember this too, we're actually suing tobacco companies for the health damage that's done to our society with tobacco. So this isn't something you can walk out tomorrow and say, let's legalize this and everything's going to be fine. You better make sure you know what you're doing when you make a decision like this.
Thank you. Rick?
First of all, I think it's a federal issue, but saying that, from a personal perspective, I would probably like to open a discussion. They do prescribe it for patients now, so it is a prescription drug, but saying that, how do you enforce it? Washington and Colorado are going through the same issues right now. How many totes can you have if you're driving an excavator, for example, or if you're driving a school bus? Is it okay to have one or two joints? They haven't got enough studied yet to rush into it. So those are some of the issues. Maybe it might be better to wait and see how they tackle some of those issues before we run into something head first. But thanks.
Thank you.